Namaste, creative yogis, how you all doing out there? It's been a while since I piped up. It was back in February actually when I went to Uluru. I was really blown away by the place, and I went into a really deep healing dive into myself, and I began to really truly understand just how healing this beautiful planet that we live on is, and this understanding that the planet itself has chakras, and these chakras relate to our chakras in our bodies, and just really understanding this, how we are interconnected, and how incredibly healing this planet is, and how we can dive into that healing energy through these beautiful practices that we do in our yoga and our meditation. So the chakra that relates to Uluru is the solar plexus chakra, which is here around the belly area, and it's called Manipura in Sanskrit. And what that is about is to do with personal power, authority, that sense of confidence, self-esteem. It's also to do with having clear boundaries. So it's really the divine masculine energy in all of us. And in order to be able to manifest our dreams, to have a healthy, balanced life and healthy, balanced relationships, we do need to have a balance between our masculine and feminine energies inside of ourselves. And so the feminine energy essentially resides in the heart chakra. And it's interesting because I spent quite a lot of time in Glastonbury when I first went over to England, which is where the heart chakra resides in the world, so Glastonbury in England. So I spent a lot of time there and really immersed myself in that lovely feminine energy of compassion and kindness and nurture, and that's certainly how I inhabit the world and how I teach. It's all about the divine feminine. So when I went to Uluru, I was required to go deep into my divine masculine side and start to heal stuff that needed to be healed in order to be able to look after the feminine energy in me, which had been absent, and I wasn't aware of that until I went to Uluru. So if we aren't able to look after ourselves, if we overwork ourselves, if we don't know how to say no, we overly give, any of that sounds familiar, that is an indication that your divine masculine energy is out of whack. Equally, if we're too aggressive, if we're pushing our own agenda at the expense of others, again, our masculine energy is not in balance. So it's finding that beautiful idea of how the masculine energy supports the feminine energy. And it is about really recognizing your value and your worth in the world, and being able to stand up and allow yourself to be seen and heard. And so that's what I was going through in Uluru, and it was playing out in my workspace, completely. I was seeing it happening. So I went in there, and they'd actually dropped me down from manager to supervisor just before I arrived, so they were being disrespectful towards me. And I had to prove myself for 2 very long months, and that included with my staff, because they saw there wasn't a manager there, so they wanted the job for themselves. So there was a lot of competition, a lot of jealousy, and all this sort of stuff, all that kind of toxic stuff was going on for the first 2 months. But somehow I cleared it and proved myself, because after those 2 months I got my promotion and I got my proper pay rise, and from then onwards my authority was never challenged. I never had any problems with my staff. It was extraordinary. It just felt like a miracle. It just felt like I'd stepped into a different timeline with myself. And I feel very different now as well. And I have a different way of being with myself. And one of the key things that I'm doing now is making sure that I'm looking after my health and my well-being and putting that first. And even though I have done that in the past, I'm doing it 100%. I'm really setting up these really strong rituals for myself, which are about protecting and looking after me first and foremost. And everything else comes after that, So I'm putting myself first, I think really properly, for the first time in my entire life. So it feels very different. I have a different connection with people around me as a result of that. And I'm getting these amazing opportunities coming my way, which I just don't even know where they've come from. So that I'm really, my business is really taking off, which is fantastic. And I've launched my teacher training program and all that sort of thing. So again, the idea of really owning your your authority, really trusting and believing and backing yourself 100%. So it was an incredible experience, but I really found it was a very kind of physical experience as well. It felt like a vibration going through all of the chakras, and it felt like a sifting and sorting going on, a cleansing and clearing of all the debris, all of the dirt that's accumulated from misalignment, from conditioning and programming that's got in the way of you really seeing your worth, seeing your value, So it was a very, very, very deep, profound spiritual experience that I had there, and I feel incredibly lucky to have had the opportunity to do that. So I will kind of talk about that stuff more as time goes on, because I learnt a lot, and I'd like to share that with you all. And our next full moon is on the 6th of November. So I'll pipe up and give you some insights about the coming month and how the moon affects us. And for today, I'll choose some cards for you just to kind of keep you going until then. So we've got our moon cards. So I'll choose one from the Moonology. So let's tune in. What do the divine, beautiful, creative yogis need to know right now? What do you need to know? Oh, you're very close to achieving your goal. Gibeah moon. Wow, so hang on in there. So again, this understanding that sometimes the outside world takes time to catch up to some inner shifts and changes that happen. And so you have to have that belief in yourself, again, that divine masculine energy, have that faith in yourself, and just keep going, keep taking action, and eventually you will get the results that you're looking for. If you give up, of course, that's when you don't get the results. So hang on in there, you can do it. I'm going to choose one more card. This is for the abundance. Let's see what our abundance has to say to us today. Just checking in. What do they have to say? Just do a little fan. Ooh. I give myself permission to love, persist, and succeed. So the two things really are saying the same thing. So I think you're very close to a breakthrough, and that's what this is telling you. So just keep going. Just keep going. If you needed to hear that today, just know that you will get there if you just keep going. Put one foot in front of the other and have faith, and just keep doing what you're doing. You're doing brilliantly. Alright, so that's it for me today. Have a lovely week. Namaste.